Hi my friends, and welcome to this next video on our little journey of getting to discover that we are creating our new lives. So, moving on from the last video where I was describing how when life gets really difficult, we seek shelter, and that for some of us, and luckily for most of us, we make our way through the pain and suffering, and we discover this really peaceful place within us. And what I got to describe for you was the awakening, really, and that's what we're all going through. And for some people, and it's very, very few, they awaken from one day to the other and they never go back. But for most of us, mortal beings, most of us, we experience how we have an awakening, or we have this enormous realization that we are not just this human being, and we're not just here to suffer and to fight our way through life, that we are actually a divine being and that we are full of all that we need. And so we have this enormous relief when we discover this, because we realize that we don't need to search any longer. So the medicine that we've been looking for, the great lover that we've been looking for, the beautiful house and family we've been looking for, is all inside us. And so when we discover this place within us and we cultivate it, the beautiful things will manifest in our world around us, because we've already discovered it inside. So that really wonderful partner that some of us are looking for, we will find when we have found that deep love within us. We've found the original love, which is really the love of God. When we have found that within us and we feel it filling us, we will attract someone to us who mirrors that love. And when they leave us one day, or they die, or we die, when the relationship ends, we still have all that love within us. So we stop leaning on others or using others to fill us with that love that we are so longing for. So the fundamental feeling of being loved and being a lover we find within us. So all these things come, and because we have found this place within us, when we cultivate it, all the things that we're dreaming of will manifest naturally. And when they come, they will only ever be something that we really enjoy, that maybe we have so much enjoyment from, but they will never be something that is fundamentally important for us, or that we need to feel really joyful. So the feeling of being really joyful we will have with us forever once we have found this place. So that's what's so beautiful about this, and we can keep talking about this forever, really. But what I want to share with this video is that it sounds really wonderful, and it is really wonderful, but after this happens, it's still hard work. Because I know it from myself, and that's really why I've been doing all these videos. And yeah, I think most people experience this, that it is really a daily job. So when we awaken, we can't unfortunately just say, well, that's it, it's all done. Now we can just more or less just get on with life and just have fun the rest of our lives. Because we have awakened to our spirit, we get to live as an awakened being. An awakened being has to actually be very vigilant and very aware all the time. Because the old self, the ego self that we used to be, will keep trying. It will. I just have to cough just a sec. Yeah, so the ego self, the old self, and that is the fearful self, will keep trying to take over again, to take over our mind and to take over our lives. And that's just the path of being a human on this planet, that for most of us it's still hard work. And in the sense that we just have to stay aware, we have to stay awake. So with every tiny little detail in our lives, it could be some ailment we have, physical ailment we have, that keeps being there, and the mind will very quickly try to stay there, try to be there, telling us that something's terribly wrong with you, and to have a lot of fear around it. And this is where the practice comes in. So to be aware, every time our ego tries to come in with fear, and to simply be aware, okay, now this is happening again. My ego is trying to come and take over me, take over my mind, and tell me that something's terribly wrong. And I'm going to listen, I'm going to be aware of it, and I'm not going to fear that, because the real, we start drifting back into our ego again when we start fearing the ego also. So the ego will never completely leave us, I think, till the day we die. It will be there, and it's, in a way you can say it's a blessing, because the ego gives us the opportunity to stay awake, to remind us to always stay in our center point. So it is like a line dancer to walk, and it's also mentioned in spiritual traditions, it's being a spiritually awakened being, and to truly live with God or as your divine self is like walking on a line, or being in the middle of a scale. We have the scales, and we have to stay on the middle point, and the world will keep challenging us, around us, and that's actually, it is a blessing, because it's helping us to keep coming back to the center point where we feel all the joy, we feel all the peace, we feel all the trust, and we have the, like I just got this last night, I was worried about something, and realizing this again, how in our divine mind we have the voice within us. It's our spirit, it's our own higher self saying to us, everything is in divine order. That's all there is. It's all divine order. And the ego mind says the opposite, says there's something terribly wrong. There's no divine order. It's all a mess. And you have to clean it up. You have to just start from one end and start tidying up and cleaning it all up. And as we know, when we work from our ego mind that is fearful and where there's no peace, you can start from one end, and by the time you reach all the way through, you can start all over again, because it's never going to stop. So our divine mind, which is where we want to live from now on, the awakened self, is constantly telling us and whispering into our consciousness that everything is in divine order, and that ailment that we might have in our body, for instance, is actually also just a little reminder to keep coming back to the voice that this is also a part of the divine order. So it's helping, it's triggering us and helping us to keep saying, to keep listening, and to actually embody the divine order. So our bodies have been victims, really, of our stressful minds, our ego-driven minds that were full of fear, and the whole energy of the world that has been and still is in many cases full of fear. And so it has been programmed, and it has been affected in all our cellular structure. We've had this fearful belief that there is no order, and I have to fix my whole body because it doesn't know what to do. It's all a mess. Whereas in all the brain retraining, different studies you can do, or different directions you can, it's a tool. And Joe Dispenza, who is this very powerful figure who's helping people to really return to the divine mind. So from the ego-driven mind that's saying everything's a mess, everything's going wrong, what should I do, it's chaos, to just let that idea go, which really is only an idea because it's not true, and to return to our divine mind, which is saying everything is in divine order, and every cell of my body is working with divine intelligence. Every single cell of every organ in my body, my brain, my skin, every single cell, every atom, every mitochondria is working with the divine intelligence, because I am a being of divinity. I'm created like everything else in creation by God. And God didn't just create me and leave me. God is living in me. And so because I was born with free will, I can live ignorant of that and say, this is all, I have to do everything myself, I have to fix everything, oh no, I can't manage way of being. Or I can choose God's mind within me. And in a way, and that's what all the spiritual traditions are trying to teach people, is to let go and let God. And so as I was lying there last night, I reminded myself, oh my goodness, here it comes again. And it's really many times every day that I'm being given the choice, do I want to listen to my ego mind, or do I want to listen to my divine mind, which is saying that everything is in divine order and every single cell of my body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and I'm healthy and vibrant and strong. And I love being in this body, and my body loves me. It's all love. So with this video, I just want to share with you that in the beginning of this little series that we've started, I said it's all playful and fun, and it is playful and fun, but it also can feel like hard work, because we really have to stay vigilant and we have to stay aware, probably the rest of our lives, to be in this divine mind, because the divine voice in us speaks with such a very still voice. It has a very, very quiet voice. It's very subtle. Whereas the ego mind shouts and screams, and it's very easy to hear. So this is why all these traditions of these in the Buddhist traditions, all these with the lots of meditation, and all these monasteries all around the world were created because it was just too difficult for man to be out in society and to find this still place. But we're living in a time now where we're not supposed to, well, some people maybe are, but we're all moving towards being able to actually to find the inner monastery. So we have our inner temple within us, and we can live in this world and have relationships and have a job if that's what we're going to do, make lots of money, make a little money, to engage in the world around us and feel that we are divinity at the same time. So God wishes, the plan is that we are to create a world that is full of love. And the only way we're going to do that is by being in our loving self, which is our divine self. So it is you can say it's hard work, you can also say it's a practice. It's a daily practice that when I get up in the morning, I have this little candle which in my old videos I lit very often, and I maybe did a prayer. You can go back and see some of them if you like. So every morning I get up, I light a candle just to remind me that the light shines within everything within me and all around me. And I keep reminding myself that no matter how dark something is in my life or something I see, the light is always shining within it. And so as we master this, as we grow, we get to see that it's every little speck of our life. We have to bring in the light. We have to realize that the light is there. So discover that even this little thing, the wart on my toe, which won't go away, is a part of the divine order. It's there to teach me something. And if the only thing it might be there to teach me is to stay in my divine mind, to keep coming back to the peace within me, the love within me, and the truth that everything is in divine order. So you might like to go back to use my breathing video, which I've with the flower on. I can put it on this video here so you can see it. So practicing the breathing several times a day. I do that several times a day. Lie down on my couch right here. I just lie down and just really dive into this pool of God's love. Just sensing how God's love is in me. It's this light, or we can see it as whatever we like, as a big clear pool of beautiful clean water, and I dive into this, or a big warm bath. Everything is in divine order in me, in every cell, in every part of my life. It's all in divine order. So allow myself, or make sure to help myself to keep coming back to that truth, that all is love, really. So when my ego comes and pops in without me knowing, that is just really to help me. My ego is helping me to remind me, are you still in your divine mind? Are you still awakened, or have you fallen asleep? So that was what I wanted to share today, that this is a practice for the rest of our lives, and that's what these videos I'm making are all about. Reminding ourselves every day, no matter where we are, no matter how our life looks, to listen to this very still, beautiful voice within us that's saying that everything is in divine order and God is right here. Love is right here. And all is well. So this was what I wanted to share today, and as you might have seen, I'm doing my first ever little workshop on Zoom, and yeah, I'd love you to join if you want to come, and you just write me an email and we'll work it out, and yeah, so that will be, I'm looking forward to that. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, my friend.